tenements and give them free to those people. The area 225 per square feet area is required to give to those people. Now, there are other schemes where under he has to give, that is called project affected schemes. Project affected means if the road is widened, then those shops and the people who are there, their area is cut. For them, this SRA board has to give them free. Those free also he has to give. So likewise, he has given 200 tenements to those people. Now another condition there is, first he has to construct those 95 tenements for the existing hut dwellers, then those 200 tenements for the project affected people, and thereafter he can construct a building for sale outside. That is the condition under that sanction. Now you show me in this rule anywhere it is mentioned that such a, because that is already an immovable property. If it is an immovable property, where is the deduction for that? They have given you stage-wise deduction. If agreement is entered into on the 14th floor, up to 14th floor the builder builds for himself. But thereafter he will be liable to pay tax. But what about those tenements where he has given free? And which is the immovable property? Kindly see the Supreme Court judgment. Therefore I told you, before going for assessment, this can't be generalized, but before going for assessment, you have to keep in your mind two, three things. Firstly, what is the Constitution amendment and why it was done? In the year 1983, the Constitution was amended just to give the powers to the state government to levy the tax on the goods which are involved in the immovable property. That is all, nothing further. By legal fiction, that indivisible property was made divisible. That is all, nothing. Because earlier to that, under that Sale of Goods Act 1935, the Supreme Court had given judgment which is reported in 9 HTC, where they were saying that if you are buying a brick, if there is a sale of brick, then tax can't be levied. But if you are buying the brick, and if the transfer of property is not in very goods, because here the transfer of property is in home, then you are not competent to levy. Therefore, that Constitution amendment was made, and government was empowered to levy tax on the goods involved in the execution of works contract of that building. That is all, nothing further. That is the legal fiction, and that legal fiction has to be carried to its logical end. You cannot stretch it further, and you cannot stretch it to the extent that you are by backdoor levying tax on the immovable property. Therefore, this is what you should remember. Firstly, Constitution amendment. Secondly, what the Supreme Court has said in Larsen and Toubro judgment, which is reported in 65 VST page 1. Supreme Court in clear words it has said that the levy of tax will commence, or tax liability will commence only after the contractor enters into, or builder enters into an agreement with the flat purchaser, and that will be ceased to be. That liability will cease the moment that there is a completion of the flat. This is what the Supreme Court is saying. Therefore, what you have to do, you have to find out the goods involved during that period, in the construction of that contract. Not the entire goods, not the goods which you have purchased right since the commencement of your construction. That is one thing. Supreme Court has again in clear words in the same judgment in paragraph number 96, they have said the tax is leviable by virtue of the amendment in the Constitution on the value addition. Tax is leviable on the value addition. Tax is not leviable on the entire conglomeration or on the things where there is no value addition. Now, you see 88 HTC Supreme Court judgment. In 88 HTC Supreme Court in Gannon and Dunkerley on page number 204, In clear words, Supreme Court has said that there is no difference between the person, of course it is contractor, but they are trying to now treat both builder, developer and contractor equally. So they means government. The Supreme Court in clear terms said that there is no difference between a normal dealer who effects a normal sale of the goods and the contractor. Constitutional amendment has been made to empower the state to levy tax on by legal fiction on the goods involved in that contract. So therefore, now these are the observations of the Supreme Court. When such are the observations of the Supreme Court, the normal dealer who levies tax in its shop on the cement bag, and same tax is applicable here, same tax. If the normal dealer who sells bricks, I am talking about retailers. These big builders, they don't buy from the retailers. They buy from the wholesalers or from the stockist or by the company itself, where there are townships. But let us forget it. We say that we are buying from the retailer. Now, if you are buying from the retailer a brick or a cement bag or a steel pipe, whatever tax is charging, whatever value is charging, it is the same value which is chargeable under the Works Contract Act. It can't be different. See, all other why under these rules, the calculation has become impossible. Why it is getting impossible? Now see, a brick which I am using on the first floor and the brick which I am using on the 15th floor, our value is the same. The amount which I am fetching for that particular flat, more amount I am fetching because of the floor rise. I am not fetching for any labor or any services or for any this one. That costly brick is used only because of floor rise. You have seen the agreement. If you are buying a flat on first floor, so much rate. If you are buying the flat on 12th floor, so much rate. Now how can you attach that value to the material and saying that the value of the material is more? This is one. Now secondly, brick which is used in Sindhudurga district and brick which is used at Nariman Point, same value. The cost is more because the cost of the land is more. Nariman Point, it is being sold in lakhs. In Sindhudurga district, it is being sold now. After Narayan Rane, the rates are higher. But otherwise, the rates are much low there. There is no value addition to the material there, what I mean to say. Now, these rules are not complying with all this. Now, it will take a day to explain every intricacy. Now, what I would advise you, keep both these things in your mind. What Supreme Court wants you to do. Supreme Court wants you to pay tax on the reasonable value addition of the material. If nothing is done in the court, we will see by interpretation how can it be done later on. Please don't be under impression that your assessments are going to be easy and they are going to accept your return. Nothing is going to happen of that sort because they have not reached their target. All these things are going on because they are not, otherwise they had ample time. Supreme Court had given them 2 to 3 months time to revise the rules in a proper manner, which they did not revise. They revised the rules in such a manner that whatever has reached in their pocket should not get refunded. That is what the sole intention is. We'll see. We'll see here at tribunal level, if not in the High Court. But I'll tell you, these rules are absurd. They are not going to give any proper result. So therefore, while doing calculations, I am aware, I have seen different types of documents. See, there are number of, so far as these entities are concerned, there are number of this. You have joint venture. You have joint venture sharing the revenue. You have joint venture sharing the work itself. Now if the joint venture, if it is sharing the revenue, there is no difficulty because they do the work and distribute the profit. But the joint venture where they are sharing the work itself, there is the problem because while sharing, the agreements are against the land. Landowner and the builder are there in the joint venture. The arrangement is against the land, I will give you so many flats. And the rest of the flats which I am constructing, I will be selling them. Now these people in the earlier circular, they have said that in such cases tax will not be levied. But I don't know whether they will stick to that circular. So far as that aspect is concerned, they will say that thereafter the rules were revised, giving the flats against land. So there are number of such problems. TDS. Now as per the Supreme Court judgment, if you have sold the flat on 14th floor, till 13th floor you are the builder, you are constructing for yourself, and if you have given the work to the contractor, then you are the employer there. You are the employer and then you have to deduct the tax. This position gets changed the moment you enter into agreement. Now so far as that agreement is concerned, you are the contractor and your customer, your buyer is the employer. This is what the position is. The government was expected to reenact the whole system. They did not do it. They are trying to fit the things in those provisions only which are there in the statute book from 2005. The judgment of the Supreme Court in K. Raheja came in the year 2006, which was challenged. Thereafter this amendment was made to section 224 of the MVAT Act, including there in the sale of flat. Thereafter there was a challenge and you had so many years. Those sections, at least after the Bombay High Court judgment, they need not have to wait for Supreme Court judgment. After the Bombay High Court judgment, they could have been reenacted, that section 42 or even Rule 52. Rule 52 is not, there are so many expenses. What you do is, I have written number of articles on this aspect. You take out all the reviews and read the articles. You need not read my articles prior to the Supreme Court judgment. After Supreme Court judgment, wherever I have written, compile those articles and go through them, you will get every answer. It will not give you the solution. Solution will be, finally it will have to be given either by the tribunal or High Court, or maybe in some cases by the Supreme Court. We don't know at this juncture what will happen in future. But at least minimum things, what are you required to do in assessment, that you will get the direction. Now those in Rule 58, we know Rule 58 is meant for contractor. Despite that, as on today Rule 58 is on the statute book. You claim the deduction, though they have not enumerated those deductions in the list which is given under Rule 58, you claim them. Now see, so far as tenanted property is concerned, where tenants are given, redevelopment I am talking about, where tenants are given rent, they are given shifting charges, rent for staying outside for maybe for 18 months or 2 years, 3 years. All those expenses you are entitled to get as deduction. Because now the tax is being levied on you as a developer and not as a contractor. Contractor is altogether a different thing. Then debris removal charges, the fees which you are paying to the Bombay Municipal Corporation, all expenses, those are all enumerated in that article. You can, all expenses you claim. Only after, even so far as builders are concerned, they have one other, see those expense contractor never has. Contractor takes contract from the builder or employer, it may be a government department. But contractor doesn't have to advertise himself. Builder has to do marketing to sell his flats. You see full page advertisement. Now those also, there you can say that you apportion it in labor and services and you are this one. There in that case you say. But all other expenses which the builder has to incur, they are, as I have told you, that floor rise, claim it. Claim it. Don't leave a single expense which to your conscience you say, you feel that this I can claim. Claim it, we'll see later on. Now this is so far as your expenses under Rule 58 is concerned. Now so far as that explanation which they give, now same mischief they have played this time also. You see they are giving deduction for sales tax, but they are not giving for service tax. Neelam Comforts, as he has told you, High Court has admitted, and if you are fortunate enough, it will be decided, because we have asked for early hearing. It will be decided soon. I don't want to comment on Neelam Comfort because tribunal members are present over there. However, I am sure that Neelam Comfort will be properly appreciated by the High Court, and I am hopeful that this judgment will get reversed so far as Neelam Comfort. But now see, you leave aside the judiciary who is interpreting. In interpretation such things happen. But this department could have done that. When you say that sale tax is not excluded, the definition of the sale price specifically excludes the sales tax. If that excludes the sales tax, under service tax also they have excluded the service tax from the price of the services. Then why could you not do that? If you had do that, there would not have been so much litigation on that. Now see, service tax people, they are, union government is wiser than that, they are really magnanimous. In that notification, they have clearly mentioned the service tax and the value added tax will not be considered for the purpose of levy of service tax on the service charges. We have very clear terms, but our state government, they are not doing it. Anyway, again it is a matter of interpretation, that also we'll see. Thirdly, now stage wise. Now stage wise, you see the stages what they have given. As I have told you, I have given you the concrete example of that hutment, which writ petition is there. I will give you another example, and that is also, that writ petition is also with the court. Now, prime property had, excuse me Rajiv, I had to tell, otherwise, see, unless and until concrete example, they will not understand. Prime property had constructed for itself a building. They constructed it up to 2 floors, but thereafter, due to some certain difficulties, they decided it to sell, and then they sold it to Videocon. Videocon purchased it, and Videocon is now completing the construction there. Now the question is, the commencement certificate had come earlier because prime property was itself constructing it. Now they are saying they are not giving deduction for those 2 floors which has already been constructed. Now you tell me what prime property should do in such circumstances. Of course, again by interpretation we will try to get it. But it could have been made clear in the rules itself. As I have told you, the builders required a self-contained code. Supreme Court has given you the decision. Supreme Court had made the law very clear. In very clear terms they said that you have to levy the tax on such and such, on value addition, during such period. Once you get it, enact the rules and the sections in that manner. That was the most simple thing. But they are not doing it. That is because they know that once they do it, the other people who have not paid the taxes from that, they will not be able, they will not get their targeted this one. And the people, like I have told you, the person who had sold the flat to Justice Babrekar, who has paid more tax, they need not refund it. They'll just drag him up to High Court. They will not give a single naya paisa. That poor gentleman will give, because builder has given the commitment. Builder is saying, not in this year, finally he has settled, but prior to that he was saying, I will give you the refund when I will get the refund from the department. He was shrewd enough. He is a businessman. Why should he suffer? And he showed us the receipt. He showed us the challan of tax paid. Then what you can do in such a... So therefore government, now this is regarding stage wise. Now come to the certificate. That is the most absurd thing which they have prescribed. Tell me, you see that in the circular what they are saying? They are saying now we have instructed that town planning authority that they should have that arrangement for issuing the certificate. It means town planning authority does not have that arrangement at all. They don't have. Of course, this has been now is being shown to the court, but and even otherwise, speak with any officer of the Bombay Municipal Corporation from top to bottom and ask him for how there are provisions under Bombay Municipal Corporation Act, which other day that section 343 and this one Ratan also explained to you. There are provisions under the Bombay Municipal Corporation Act that they want the builder to come to them for their sanction at the time of commencement and thereafter for completion. Not in between. In between you can, they are going, some builders are going only because they are, because some banks or these government organizations, if they have purchased, then they require floor-wise certificate. For that purpose they are giving, but that is not the requirement of the law. Because they don't get sanction in there, this one. Take for instance LIC or Union Government Department, they don't. That is not the mandatory requirement. Now they have made it retrospective. Right since 2006 you have to get certificate from them, a town planning authority. Then if town planning authority is not able to give you certificate, then you can take from us. But first you find out, now see, we have received some information from RTI, but now we can't distribute it everywhere. Neither we can print it in the review. We have got everything from RTI, which we are now producing before the court. What is PWD? Tell me, you all people are sitting here. Anyone, if he rises up and tells me that his building, his architect had gone to PWD to get the sanction or for any work. PWD has nothing to do with this thing. PWD comes into the picture only where corporations are not there. Now they have taken information for PWD, for the stage-wise construction, and they have mentioned it also in the circular. We have got further information under RTI that we will see later. But this is what, now fourth thing, certification they need from the RCC consultant. Now that also we fail to understand how the RCC consultant has come into picture. That occupancy certificate, that is always applied for by the architect. RCC consultant has nothing to do. But they have done it just to manipulate the things. How you see K. Raja's judgment. K. Raja is saying that if the flat is completed, then government has no power to levy tax on them. After the completion of it. That completion of the flat is being interpreted, it is being interpreted as RCC completion and therefore RCC consultant. Now poor people who don't understand it, sorry to say, there are number of, see our counterparts in Mofussil areas, they just follow what this commissioner says and what his circular says. If they will go to RCC consultant to get the certificate. RCC consultant is not at all in the picture. Who does is the architect. But if you are able to get the certificate from the RCC consultant, get it. Let them suffer. If they are saying RCC consultant, let them suffer. Now next, now that completion which is said in this K. Raja and which has been followed in our Larsen and Toubro and MCHI's case, that completion is the completion of the building. I think in the last seminar, wherever it was, I don't remember now, I told in clear terms that in Mumbai, 50% or more than that building, they do not have occupation certificate. What is Campa Cola? Now this occupation certificate has come to the fore only after this Campa Cola. Till then no one used to bother. I had given my own example. My flat in which I am staying for last 14 years, that flat doesn't have occupation certificate. It was a stilt. It was the builder had only a plan for only four floors. The flat which is originally it was a stilt. Thereafter he got the sanction from the PNC. He constructed the flat there, which I bought from him. Being a lawyer, I didn't bother for this because that time no one was bothering for this occupation certificate. I never asked for. When this Campa Cola case came, thereafter we started searching, and our society also. Then society told me, "Partner, your own this one doesn't have occupation certificate." But then, so far as BNC is concerned, I am not bothered. I am on the ground floor, so they can't demolish it. Let's see what happens in February. But this is what happens. In number, there are no. You apply for what the real position is. The architect applies for the occupation certificate, and then maybe within 2 years. See, there are number of compliances there. So far as Bombay Municipal Corporation is concerned. After complying those requirements, you get the occupation certificate after maybe 2 years or 3 years. This is what the position is. Now they are insisting on occupation certificate. Anyway, it is again so far as those things are concerned, nothing will happen. Those words shall will be read as may, and that we will take care of later on, and will take care of. Now, so far as this, now I'll give you another concrete case. I have got a case. A building has been constructed at Chunabhatti. The building was constructed, people came and stayed with it, they have gas connections, many of them, they were bank employees and other insurance companies employees. They applied for loans to their respective banks and insurance company. The officers, see, those banks do not give, or any company does not give loan as it is. The officer, loan sanctioning officer came there, he inspected that whether the building is complete in all respects, and then only he gives you the certificate. They give you the loan. That report they have, that inspection report they have, but the gentleman does not have the occupation certificate. He has, but that came later on only because at that particular point of time he had the dispute with the architect. Architect did not apply at all, and it came later on after 3 years. Now tell me what would be the position in such cases, but then we'll see. That is also a matter of interpretation that can be seen. Now next, therefore I have advised you follow 88 STC, what Gyanand Dankarle is saying. Keep in your mind, your position is not different than the regular or normal seller of goods. So that you remember. Secondly, you remember what Supreme Court is saying in L&T. Follow that. Accordingly, you pay the tax. Don't pay tax less. Don't pay tax less. Pay the tax as the law requires you to pay. And then we'll see what happens thereafter, what stand they take. They may take, because they are also fed up. And not 1% of the officers, they know that how to assess these builders. Not 1% of this entire department. Only 1 or 2 officers, they know how to do this one. And that is why Dr. Nitin Kareri showed us the report that, Baba, I have myself, because we don't want this headache. I have given it to Finance Department, but Finance Department has rejected it. That is what he showed us this one. Now coming to the after tax, coming to the forfeiture. Now forfeiture you have to take care. Now see the problem, as I have told you. The builders could get the tax in some cases, they could not get the tax in many cases. That is the fact. As I have told you, wherever they have given the possessions, they did not get that. Who is going to give? The building which was complete in 2008 and 2009, where now you are in 2014 demanding the tax, where the people are also take possession. People are telling them you go to court and take. So in those cases, they are not getting that tax this way. However, wherever they have given have not given the possession, they have recovered the tax. Now in those cases, because of their circulars, they have taken that I have told you, like composition 5%, or in some cases, as see, everyone, because there was no proper guidance, everyone has made his own calculations. Some have paid less tax, some have paid more tax. Now for that you claim a refund in assessment. But understand one thing. When you claim a refund, immediately give a credit note to those people also, customer also. He should get the, otherwise no one will give you that refund. And if you don't do it, finally it will get forfeited. See, there is, I'll tell you, this matter is not going to end so far as this builder is concerned. Because consumer forums, they have kept a watch on this. Even High Court, when we are going there, person comes there to see what is the current status. They have also filed writ petitions there.